Hello everyone, welcome back. Finally, I'm here with the much delayed review of Vikram, which has caught the attention of all for all the right reasons. I watched this on the third weekend of the movie release and there was still 60% occupancy, which is not bad. Let me start by saying that as a fan of Kaidi, I went in to watch Vikram as a fanboy and I came back as a fanboy. That sums up my experience. However, I lost out on a lot of thrill and suspense as I already knew too much about the movie before watching it. Therefore, some of the moments that made the fans go absolute bonkers had little or no impact on me, even when I stayed clear from any spoilers. Tamil cinema had a dry phase in 2022 with no movie worthy of attention at a national scale, but then came Vikram and changed everything, and what an impact it made. I may not be successful in hiding my admiration for Vikram in spite of my criticism. Whether we like it or not, the timeline of Tamil cinema has been redefined. It is Tamil cinema before Vikram and after Vikram, and the Tamil movie fans will fall into either of the two categories, those in Loki's multiverse and those who are not. There are no fence sitters. Such is the craze of this movie that there is a cult following like never before. Hero worship of lead stars had always been an Indian thing ever since Raja Harishchandra. But for a movie to take the hero's place and have a cult following is almost unheard of in India. I am glad that such a shift is happening in Tamil cinema and a big round of applause to Lokesh for that. The Vikram that I knew of while growing up was a spy who, like James Bond, charms women, deploys gadgets, and saves the country from bad guys. The songs of Vikram in 1986 were chartbusters and ruled the roost for many years. Vikram 2022 is about the same spy who has grown older. Except for the name and character, there is nothing common between the 1986 release and the 2022 release. The plot. Here is a storyline that has a series of murders of police officers with a video statement after every murder. Is this movie about finding who is behind these murders and how police solves the case? Yes, it is, but that is not all. There is also another storyline of loads of drug raw materials and a drug mafia man hunting for it. Is this a movie about finding the missing load and ending the movie with a high octane action climax? Again, yes, but not completely. That's what Kaidi was, isn't it? Now try connecting both the plots. Do the characters have a role in both these plots? If so, then how? That's what Vikram is all about. It is not a complicated plot. It is rather a combination of simple subplots made complicated on purpose by the writers Lokesh and Rathna Kumar, which leaves any creator at the risk of many potential loopholes. And how does Lokesh overcome that risk? By creating a stylish, star-packed, high-octane action drama that keeps you intoxicated not just while watching the movie, but also for many days after watching the movie. First half. The first half is all Fahad Fazil and Vijay Sethupathi show. The story moves at a brisk pace and keeps you guessing what comes next, and I have to say I wasn't ready for the twist before the interval. Fahad in his own unassuming style holds the story together in the first half. While Vijay Sethupathi as Sandanam is kind of Bhavani reincarnation from Master. Half the whistles in the first half are reserved for Sandanam, the rest is for Anirudh. You also see the police officer Vijay, played by Naren from Kaidi. What happened to Vijay after Kaidi and before Vikram is left unexplored. I hope to see more of it in either Kaidi 2 or Vikram 3. Second half. The second half is Kamal's show all the way. After a 4-year sabbatical, Kamal has come back as a wise man. The erstwhile Kamal was all about himself. Screen time, interferences in direction and many more are common knowledge. But here you see a transformed Kamal who plays his part as a director's actor. Vikram's legend is amplified by making his rivals and supporters stronger and they speak for Vikram, rather than Vikram hogging the limelight all the way. Fahad withdraws slowly in the second half and plays the Vikram admirer, while letting Vikram take control over the rest of the proceedings. The second half, in my opinion, gets into some unnecessary indulgences. The child angle, for example. Yes, there has to be some emotional connect, some motivation for the protagonists, I agree, but I found the attempt too naive and unnecessary. Let me put it this way. If we take the child away from the plot, would that make any difference to the plot? I dare say it would not. And the CPR scene. We always know what happens when somebody is almost dead and then the protagonist performs CPR. Direction. About the man himself, Lokesh Kanagaraj. This man is a soft target for the trolls and he gives them enough fodder to feed on. Why? Lokesh is heavily inspired by Western cinema and he blatantly displays it. And I'm not complaining. When you admire someone's craft so deeply, it is impossible not to have their influence. Lokesh has his idols and I see nothing wrong in it. His stories revolve around drugs, guns are as important to him as his stars, and his movie is never complete without biryani. While many may argue against his idea of multiverse and why should people watch one movie to understand another, I would also urge people to think how many directors can ask people to do so. Directors who has made only crappy movies cannot make this statement. Lokesh has the audacity to ask people to watch Kaidi because it is worth. Support crew. The film crew has a massive set of 13 assistant directors, not without a reason. I wish each of them venture out and create their own original movies, but not a single woman in the set of 13. That is disappointing. Two of the most difficult jobs, that is cinematography and editing, are handled by Girish Gangadharan and Philomin Raj respectively. Girish replaced Satyan Suryan as a cinematographer, and what a regrettable miss for Satyan. Girish's cinematography is outstanding. The use of Mokobalt robotic arm for the fight sequence before interval caught my attention. Watch out for that. It is nothing new. A fight sequence in Bhishma Parvam has already been shot using the same technique. I noticed it in season 6 of Peaky Blinders as well. Capturing action sequences with multiple moving objects is a big challenge, which is the case with Vikram, and the outcome is a visual treat. Drone shots that has once been fancy is now commonplace. I guess robotic arms will also become commonplace in the near future. Visual effects are outstanding as well. Philomin Raj's editing never disappoints. To make sense out of gigabytes of footage and come up with a slick output is not a job for the faint-hearted. And music and background score. Make no mistakes, my friends, this movie is not for all. It is not a family entertainer. You don't come out of the movie feeling good. You come out high like you snorted some white powder. It makes no sense, but it is addictive. And then you realize the culprit is Anirudh. It is a trap, and once you're snared in it, there is no escaping. The instructions to Anirudh are clear. It is to numb all the logical senses of the viewers and keep them high, and that he delivers. I could see the complex references and moods that inspired Lokesh to take those inspirations and come up with an original score that suits the needs of the director and mesmerize the audience is no mean feat. It is a challenging task for Anirudh to cherish for the rest of his life. Hang it like a medal of honor, young man, you deserve it. And the sound effects. Every aspect of sound is matched carefully with the visuals and created to have maximum impact for the viewers. Take those sound effects off and then Vikram is only as good as anything else. And the climax. Or shall I say the climax after the climax? There are two worlds here. One world that loses all the leftover sanity on watching Surya as Rolex, and the other world that sees this as an avoidable twist. As I said earlier, by the time I watched the movie, I knew way too much about the movie, and what could have been a heart-stop moment turned out to be a damp squib for me. We have seen Surya in negative characters, usually when he plays the dual role as the good guy and the bad guy. To watch him in a complete negative role is a first. Does that mean Surya will play Rolex in Vikram 3, or is this cameo meant only to hype up in order to set the expectations high for the sequel? We need to wait and watch. Box office. As I make this video, the Day 16 collection stands at 412 crores worldwide, which is a new record for a Tamil movie. However, it is nowhere close to the box office records of Bahubali or KGF or RRR, primarily due to the poor marketing and lack of screens for the Hindi version. I hope better marketing sense prevails for the next installment. My conclusion. Is Vikram a must-watch? Absolutely. At least know what the hype is about. One thing is for sure in South Indian cinema, new benchmarks has been set, expectations of audience has been redefined, and this is not a one movie phenomenon. It is a result of collective and incremental steps taken by various movie makers, one step at a time. And I hope our movie makers don't get drunk high on successes and get complacent. Also, let's be kind to our creators and stop comparing everything to Hollywood. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I will come back with further insights on Vikram after the OTT release. Till then, bye bye.